Hey, welcome to our Aitken Aitken Cohn Staff Spotlight, and we are very happy to have an attorney join us today. Megan, we appreciate you stepping up for this, and why don't we start at the beginning? Why don't you tell us where you grew up?
I was born and raised in Riverside, California, where I now have the opportunity to practice right here on Magnolia Avenue, really in the heart of Riverside and down the street from where I was born at Community Hospital.
So why don't we kind of go back in time a little bit? Tell us a little bit about what kind of jobs you had in high school and kind of going back towards your high school experience down in Riverside.
Yeah, I attended Riverside Poly High School, which I think is the oldest high school in Riverside. And throughout high school and actually long before, I think starting in second grade, I found myself frequently working at my family's fruit stand in Riverside and grew up every winter working at the Christmas tree farm, really learning the value of hard work, learning that service-oriented mindset and how important it is to make people feel heard and seen in that type of work, which I think translates to my role as an attorney here today.
So you really grew up around the family business, and I think I know a little bit about that. And so, tell me what got you interested in law as you kind of grew up in this family business.
If you ask my mom, she would probably tell you I always made everybody else's problems my own growing up. I often would find, the kid at school that I feel like there has been some terrible misjustice from the teacher, and I had to right that wrong. So, I think integrity has always meant so much to me. I have a real respect for rules and structure in the justice system. And so, I think all of those kind of life experiences along the way led me to seeing the law as not only a logical career path, but something that, I can't wait to get here and do every single day.
So that eventually led to law school. So where did you go to law school, and tell us a little bit about that?
So I went to Chapman University School of Law in the city of Orange, same as some of my other friends here at the firm, like Atticus and Ryan and Michael. It was through Chapman really opened so many doors for me. I did both my undergraduate studies at Chapman and then stayed for law school. And it was through Chapman that I actually met Wiley.
How long have you been with the firm now?
Almost 8 years, coming up on 8 years.
And I know when you first came in, we got to work together in the Santa Ana office, and eventually moved down to the Riverside office when we opened that up. So tell me a little bit why it's so important to you to work in the Inland Empire, and your thoughts about that.
My heart and soul has always been in the Inland Empire. It always will be in the Inland Empire. This is my home. I think the people of the Inland Empire are incredibly a special bunch. I think the sense of community is very different here. Your ability to effectuate real change. So having the opportunity to really dive into this community as a young professional, after taking kind of a hiatus for undergraduate and law school, has just been an incredible opportunity to drive the streets you grew growing up, and now being able to advocate for why they need to be safer or why a horrible accident occurred there that could have been prevented. It just is so incredibly meaningful to me to drive down, by a parking lot that's now safer because of the work we've done. Not only are we bettering the lives of our individual clients, but we are making the world a safer place, and having the opportunity to do that in your hometown, in the home region, really, because I think, the Inland Empire is vast, but we are very united, is just, there's just nothing better than that. So.
And I know I know, Megan, that your sense of community for the Inland Empire is very, very strong. How have you gotten involved down there to kind of get a better sense of the legal community, and tell us some of the stuff that you're involved with in that area?
So I really see my involvement as multifaceted here. So there's the legal community aspect, there is the community-minded aspect, and then there's the nonprofit involvement. And I think that in order to really get an incredible understanding of where the Inland Empire is and where the Inland Empire can be in 20 or 30 or 40 years, I think having an active role in all three of those areas was vital for my development and will continue to be, for the rest of my life. So I have the opportunity this year to serve as the Consumer Attorneys of the Inland Empire president. CAOIE is the local trial lawyer organization under our umbrella Consumer Attorney of California organization that oversees consumer advocacy for the state. So having the opportunity to serve with that group has been incredibly important for my development, because we're all over the place. There's people in San Bernardino, there's people out in Palm Desert, in Ontario. And so bringing together, it is such a vast region that it's so important to make sure those ties are reaching the far corners of the Inland Empire, so we know that we are effectively advocating for consumers throughout this region. I'm also involved on the Riverside County Bar Association Board of Directors. And again, the Riverside Bar, the legal community here is incredible. They're such a family. They really brought me right in when I moved back out here to the New Lawyer Academy, and have just pulled me in, and we really lift each other up. I think there's such a strong affinity to our legal community that really I hadn't found anywhere else yet. Then on the more community or civic minded side, I serve on the Raincross group, which is a local advocacy group. In addition, I'm a budget engagement commissioner for the city of Riverside, where we look out at how Measure Z funds are being allocated within the city. And then lastly, I would say on that nonprofit side, I'm involved with many nonprofits, such as the American Diabetes Association, the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women movement. And then lastly, the Janet Goski Foundation, where I serve as chair-elect. Janet Goski Foundation is just like such an incredible jewel in our community. It's for those 55 and older, and it provides all types of services, everything from yoga classes and Zumba, woodworking, Spanish classes, French classes, and it really is all about successful aging, which, as we know in the work we do on our elder abuse cases, on many of our medical malpractice cases, successful aging is incredibly important, and now more than ever as our population is aging. So, I think having the opportunity to get involved and the firm's support to get involved in a variety of different organizations that span really different areas of our community has given me a great pulse on where the Inland Empire is and where we hope to be.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the areas that you are focused on in the law, and maybe what are your favorite memories of being a lawyer?
Yeah. So, overarching, we specialize here in traumatic personal injury, wrongful death, and medical malpractice work. But, often through many cases with you, Chris, and with Wiley, we really have a special affinity for our trucking cases. I feel like trucking, especially in the Inland Empire, is becoming a bigger and bigger problem with the number of warehouses that are currently in this region, and something that I keep a careful eye on. As far as great memories, I don't think I'll ever forget standing, holding my client's hand in the Summerall matter as we read the settlement into the record following a mandatory settlement conference. It had been about 10 years since the client's accident when that matter finally came to a resolution. We had a published decision come out in that matter in our favor. And ultimately that settled just a few weeks before trial. And just, seeing the relief on our clients' faces, knowing that the economic impact of that incident was going to be lessened by the recovery was just, and the best feeling in the world. So.
And tell us a little bit more about you. When you're not working, what's some of your favorite things to do?
Well, when we moved back, my husband and I bought the house next door to my mom, who lives next door to my grandma, and now my brother lives across the street. So we just have a ball. I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and my siblings and I all live in the city of Riverside. So we're really an incredible kind of built-in support system, and they're my very best friends.
Tell us one thing that, about you that might surprise people.
Since woodshop back at Gage Middle School, I've just always had a love of woodworking. And then when my husband came along, we were dating, and to this day, we love to work on cars together. So we've restored a 1985 GMC Jimmy. We've restored a 1974 BMW 2002. So, I love the opportunity to go and work on a project. I'll be like the first person if something's broken on my desk. I'll have my drill here and my tools fixing my desk. And you're like, what's going on here? So.
Well, we end on this question, Megan. If the attorney came across across this video, what would you tell them about yourself, and what would you tell them about the firm?
When you're looking for an attorney, you're looking for an advocate. You're looking for someone who has your best interest at heart, who can understand your story and tell it in a way that is going to yield the result that many times in our cases, due to the very traumatic and tragic nature, needs to be told sometimes for a family's ability to put food on the table and to pay the mortgage. Our attorneys here have our clients' best interests at heart every single day. We really have a no rock unturned approach here. And I think we look for appropriate defendants that many other firms either aren't willing to take to the mat, or simply they just don't know to look for. I endeavor every day to be the type of advocate that I would want to send my mom to, or my sister to, if they were to need someone. And, that kind of approach of here's my cell phone, call me, text me. I mean, I want to know what's going on with my clients as it's happening to them. I'll text my clients like, hey, how'd that doctor's appointment go? How was your first day back to work? What did that look like? So, for someone that's looking for a firm where they're going to be all in with you, I truly believe that is Aitken Aitken Cohn, and we treat each and every client like they're a member of our family. So.
Well, thank you, Megan, so much, and I appreciate it. And come visit Megan out in Riverside at the Riverside office, and really appreciate you spending some time here. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you.